All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of The Potential Project. I'm your host, Sean Calhoun, and if you're here, it's because you're ready to reduce stress, burn stubborn fat, and get your body working with you instead of against you. On this podcast, we're all about simple, no BS strategies for fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle. This way, you can feel strong, confident, and in control. I'll give you the tools, mindset shifts, and habits to help you look and feel your best without spending hours in the gym or stressing over every single meal. Now, let's get into it. All right, welcome back, and thank you for joining me wherever you are, whether you're walking, you're driving, you're at home, at work, doing laundry, whatever it is. Thank you for spending your time listening because time is the most valuable resource. And the fact that you're spending it here with me, I want to make it impactful, and I want to make it mean something for you in your life and share some value. So recently I've been talking a lot about mindset. Now, mindset is always going to be something that is incorporated in the health journey, right? In the health realm. We need to have our mindset in place in order to heal our body. So we're going to talk a little bit about mindset today, but I want to bring up something because, probably if you're listening to this, you might want to lose some weight, you might want to build some strength. But ultimately, when it comes to our health, a lot of us look at the number on the scale. And I know you want that number on the scale to change, whether it's you want to put on some muscle and gain some weight, or you want to drop some pounds and you want to see that number go down. I get it. That is what most of us are taught to track, is that when it comes to our health and our well-being, we step on that scale and we look at what the number says. And then not only do we do that, we associate our worth, our health, and our progress based on that number. So if the number's going down, that means we're doing good, we're a good person, and we're becoming healthier and more fit. And if the number is going up, then the opposite is happening, is that we're no good, we're not disciplined, we can't figure this out, we're obese. We start telling ourselves these false narratives of what's probably not true based on a number on the scale. So if you're just measuring progress by weight, you're going to miss the signs that your body is actually healing. So this really applies only to people who are on a health journey. Now, if you're just kind of willy-nilly about life and you're eating Cheetos and staying up late and just not really caring about what your health is, then this podcast probably isn't for you, especially this episode. This episode is for the folks who are putting in time and effort into improving their situation. And I mean this because there's a lot of things that we can do that we've learned online, through self-practice, through other coaches, that we can do to improve our health. But if all we're looking at is the number on the scale as the marker of if we're progressing or not, we're going to miss out on a lot of other things and showing ourselves that we're actually healing. So in reality, a lot of us are under stress from the foods we eat, to our work environment, to lack of sleep, to the things that we're rubbing into our skin, and that causes our bodies to be inflamed, stressed out, depleted, and out of balance. And that's probably been going on for years and years and years, which throws our whole system off, right? And causes what in the functional world, what I call metabolic chaos, right? Your body does not feel safe enough to let go of the weight just yet. So that doesn't mean that you're a failure if the weight isn't dropping. It just means that we're simply healing. So the problem is that sometimes the weight is the last thing to change and the last thing to adapt. When you're on your healing journey and when you're on a health journey, let's say you're adjusting the foods you're eating so you're not eating inflammatory foods, getting the seed oils out, getting dairy out, alcohol, you're removing those things, right? You're starting to work on a wind down routine so that you're taking a hot bath, or you're journaling or chilling at night instead of being on your phone. You're waking up, you're going, getting some sunlight, you're hydrating, you're eating protein, you're doing all of these things, right? Well, guess what? Your body is lowering the stress levels, the inflammation, the balancing of the hormones, and that takes time. So what you're going to see is not necessarily the scale drop right away. I just wanted to bring this up because I don't want us to get frustrated if we're doing all of these things and the only marker that we're looking at is the scale. So what happens, what we see a lot of times is that when I'm working with someone, or you just see it online all the time, people who only focus on the scale, the problem with that is you get frustrated quickly because you're feeding off of emotion, right? You wake up in the morning, you look at the scale. If it's a good number, you're going to have a good day. If it's a bad number, you're going to have a bad day. Now, we don't want to let the number on the scale dictate our emotions and our actions and the way we show up in the world. So that, first of all, is not serving you at all by doing that. So people who only focus on the scale get frustrated very easily. These are the people who also jump from program to program looking for a quick fix. Right? We go to one gym promising one thing. We try kickboxing. That doesn't work after a couple weeks. We try an online program. That doesn't work. And you're kind of not going all in. And you're not also giving yourself enough time for actual results to show up in your life. I believe that many workout styles work for people if you do them long enough and consistently enough, right? Diets that work for you, that are good for your body type and they're whole foods, they will affect positive change in your life if you do them long enough. So these people who only look at the scale typically will jump from program to program looking for that quick fix. And then another situation with people who just look at the scale are folks who miss the bigger picture. We're so narrowed in and so emotionally attached to that number on the scale that we're missing what's going on in life anyway. Like, what's the whole purpose of this? And that's why I talked in another episode of understanding your why. Like, why are you really doing this? Why are you taking these actions, these steps, this investment in your health to improve in the first place? Because if you don't know that, then looking at that scale is going to feel so frustrating. But if you know that you want to have improved energy, you want to be able to live without any pain and have work be a breeze and you're not falling asleep at your desk, right? And you're looking at these other markers of quality of life, you're going to see big improvements happening in different areas. It's just not always going to be on the scale. And now on the flip side, clients who win long term, they understand one big thing is that healing happens in layers. I believe that if you're a living being, if you're a living human being, I should say, you're working on your health until the day that you die. You would like to live a long life without any pain, without any disease, and then one day when you're nice and old, go to sleep and not wake up again. To me, that's a perfect scenario. I don't know about you, maybe it's different. The point that I'm trying to get across is that folks who win long term understand this. They understand that health isn't just a program for a certain amount of weeks. Yes, these programs help. I run a program for clients, but my point I'm trying to make is within that program, it's not that, okay, once you're done, all of your problems should be solved and you're at the perfect weight and everything's beautiful, right? I would love for that to be the case. If it was, I'd probably be a billionaire by now. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's ongoing. It's not, let me do this until 6 weeks is up and then I'll be fine and just go back to your life. No, it's a layer of, okay, these are my habits. This is my current situation. How can I improve upon these? And I like to use this not only in layers, but on a scale. Like when it comes to food, right? We can't be perfect in life where we eat the perfect food, we have the perfect water filter, the perfect air filter, the perfect sleeping environment. It's not going to happen. And stress is always going to be on us in life. That's inevitable. But what we can do is work in these layers and on a scale to see where we're at and make a decision to improve. So with food, right? Let's say you're someone who eats McDonald's 4 times a week. You're eating Oreos as snacks and Cheetos and things like that. Well, an improvement for that person would be to eat McDonald's twice a week and maybe have an apple instead of Oreos, right? Now, for some people who are already a couple layers beyond that towards their health, they might look at that and say, oh my God, that's so unhealthy. I can't go to McDonald's at all. I never will eat fast food. Well, guess what? When you're at that next level, then you can take that step. But these people who win long-term understand, okay, here's where I'm at. How can I improve my habits? How can I improve what food I eat, my nighttime routine, my exercise? And you do it in layers that are never ending, right? Another thing that is a trait of clients who win long-term are people who look at different markers for success. Things like your mood, your energy, your digestion, mental clarity. These are all steps and these are all signs that you're moving forward at improving your health. I don't know about you, but if I am waking up in the morning feeling refreshed with high energy, I am not experiencing much indigestion. You go to the bathroom once or twice a day, right? You have mental clarity while you're at work. You're sharp on your meetings. You're sharp with talking to people, right? You have a good sustained energy throughout the day. You don't crash at 3 p.m. And then you get to go home and spend time with your loved ones or hop on a phone call with somebody and just be present. That to me is vitality. That to me is living up to your full potential. And that's what this podcast is all about. So to me, I mean, the scale doesn't even matter when it comes to that. If I'm living like that and I feel good, I'm not in pain, and I can exercise and move my body and do all those things that I want to do, I could care less what that number says. Now, this is coming from me, and I'm different than everybody else, but I've said this before. I could stand on a scale, look at the number, and then just get on with my day. It is a tool. It is a measurement of your mass against gravity. Right? It doesn't mean anything about your character. So if I wanted to, for example, put on a few pounds, I would have to hop on the scale and say, you know what, I want to put on some muscle, I'll do some measurements, I'll hop on the scale, I'll look at this, and I'll track it over time, unemotionally, because I've gotten to the point where I know what really matters. So what I'm trying to say is, you might not be there yet, but those other markers that I just talked about are something that you can shift your attention to. Hey, hope you're loving the episode so far. Thanks for spending some time with me. I got a quick favor to ask. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast because that's how I know you're getting value from the show. And this way, you never miss an episode. All right, now back to the show. So while I might be able to hop on the scale and use it to burn a few pounds or put on a few pounds or just see where I'm at, that's not the focus for me at all. The focus is, how is my mood? How is my energy? How is my mental clarity? How's my stomach feel? You know, when I was younger, I had a lot of indigestion, a lot of heartburn, and I would talk to my mom and I would say, you know, what's going on with this? And she would tell me, you know, it's hereditary. It's from what we're eating. It's, you know, your grandfather had it. And that just didn't seem right to me, right? It's because of my diet. It's because of my lifestyle. So I improved those things. And guess what? I don't take any medication anymore. My stomach feels great. I no longer deal with that stuff. That to me was an improvement in my health, right? Now, another thing is that clients who win long-term, they trust the process and focus on being consistent, not perfect. So they understand that it's a lifelong journey and that doing things that are going to benefit you are habits that they pick up, not a checklist. So for example, if I told you to eat 100 grams of protein and walk 10,000 steps and drink 100 ounces of water in a day, instead of saying, you know what, I need to do this exactly right every single day, or else there's someone who, you know what, I'm going to park further back in the parking lot when I go to the grocery store so I get a couple extra steps in. Or I'm going to take the stairs instead of the escalator so that I can, you know, move my body a bit more. I'm going to pack some fruit and some Greek yogurt as a snack instead of a bag of chips, right? These are little things that happen over time that are a part of your lifestyle rather than just being perfect day in and day out. So if you do those little things, you're more likely to be consistent, is my point in this whole thing, is that if you're 100% or 0%, you're more likely to just stop doing the habits anyway. But if you're being consistent and you're building up those habits over time, you're going to do it for the long haul and you're going to see the small improvements rather than not. Right now, one thing that I want to remind you is that if the weight is not moving and you're frustrated, right? Just remember, you're not broken. Your body is trying to protect you, right? When you have toxins in your body stores them in fat cells. If your gut is a mess, your hormones are tanked, your cortisol is dysregulated, your body right now is in survival mode, not fat burning mode. And that's what we have to understand. There is a whole process that may take weeks, months, or even years for some people, based upon how long you've been in this state of building your health from the inside out and getting your body and your mind to a state of feeling safe, right? That means our nervous system is calm enough, our body is healed enough and balanced enough for our body to go and heal itself, balance itself out. Our cells are able to do what their job is and then release the weight, right? Granted, we're still working with the laws of thermodynamics. I'm not saying just go eat your face off, right? We need to still eat whole foods at a manageable rate throughout the day. But when your body is that stressed out, hormones are unbalanced, cortisol is dysregulated, your body will not release weight. So until that happens, the weight is going to fluctuate at a number that maybe you don't like, right? Maybe that's something that you're not happy with, that the number is what it is. But what I'm trying to get across is let's shift our mindset and go all in on the things that are healing our body that we have control over, because when we control the controllables, we build confidence and we build momentum. And when we can heal our body from the inside out, that will get us to the point of being able to release the fat sooner than longer. So remember, when we're talking about fixing the inside first, that's not just a cute phrase, that's human biology, right? We need to heal from the inside in order to get us out of survival mode and into fat burning mode. So what can I do about this, right? Like I said, we need to take matters into our own hands and control what we can control and take our mindset off of that scale. Here are some of the markers that I like to track. Now, I was having a conversation with my mentor over email, and I was messaging her and just asking, what are some of the traits and some of the things that you track for your clients who are the most successful, right? And we had a good conversation just about this right here, about the fact that, exercise and health and fitness is an infinite game. That was one thing. But we did talk about, some things that we found in clients that really do move the needle. One of those being protein intake. A lot of women are drastically under eating their calories. Now, that doesn't mean go grab another bag of Cheetos. We need to nourish our body. So protein is the most satiating macronutrient. That's why it's so vital to consume enough of it. So you're going to be full, which means you won't snack and overeat. You're going to be satiated, so you won't have those hunger hormones creeping up and those cravings for salty and sweets. And it fuels your muscle, which when we build our muscle is our metabolism, and it burns fat. So your muscle burns fat at rest. That's why protein is so essential. So when we can track that and you're in control of it, then that builds confidence. It says, if I had to eat 100 grams of protein today and I did it, that builds confidence. I know I'm moving in the right direction, rather than saying, what's the number on the scale, which is out of your control, somewhat, right? Somewhat it's in your control, but there's a lot of factors that cause that number to be on the scale. But nothing about protein intake is out of your control. That's all you. So it's empowering, and it takes your focus on the right things rather than the scale. Another thing is hydration. Same thing. Our body's organs and systems, not symptoms, systems run on water. So if you're not hydrated, you're not going to function properly. You can control how much water you drink in a day. That's another great marker to track. Another one is steps, right? Walking supports your blood sugar, your digestion, your nervous system, and your mood, right? So if it can do all of these amazing things and you're in control of how much you walk, that's a great thing to track. Now, I know you might say you're busy. I get it. But you can at least see how many steps that you're at and do things to improve it. Like, let's say you only walk 2,000 steps a day. How can you get it to 2,500? How can you get it to 3,000? That's you taking back control and being empowered and building confidence again and focusing on something that you can control, not just the number. Another thing is to track is things like your bowel movements, your energy, your mood, and mental clarity. Give them a scale, right? Rate them on a scale of 1 to 5 is what I like to do. How is your mood today? How is your mental clarity? And if you can track those things and say, you know what? My mood has been improving. My mental clarity is sharper. Those are signs of vitality and quality of life. So take those things and use those to measure where you're at, and it's going to change your whole world. Because number one, it's taking you out of victim mentality and saying, oh, poor me, the number's not what I want it to be, and putting you back in the driver's seat of your life and giving you 100% control over your outcomes. And saying it's not up to the government, it's not up to the weather, it's up to me, and putting the work in and doing those little things that are in my control and doing that on a consistent basis, right? And that leads me to my point. When you can do these little things and track your steps, your water, your protein, your bowel movements, your energy, right? All of that stuff are great markers that you can start where you're at and improve them slightly. You don't have to come out of the gate walking 10,000 steps, drinking a gallon of water, eating 200 grams of protein. You can simply track where you're at personally at the moment and set boundaries and make goals and adjust your schedule to improve them a little bit. Like I said, maybe you take 10 minutes at lunch to improve the amount of steps that you got. That's an improvement. That's you actively working on improving your health and making a change. And there's nothing more empowering than that. I promise you. So what I'm trying to say is you're not just trying to lose weight. Yes, that's a good side effect of building your health, but you're trying to become a healthier, more energized version of yourself. And if that's not your goal, then again, maybe this podcast isn't for you. But the people who I talk to, they want to live happier. They want to be more energized. They want to feel no pain. They want to walk around with strength and confidence and just flow through life and be able to be present with their family, their friends, their coworkers, and do what they want to do whenever they want to do it without any boundaries. So what I'm saying is you just got to keep showing up for yourself. Listen to your body, give it what it needs. And if you track those things, that would be my action step, is to track those things like water, protein, steps, see how your mood is, see how your energy is. You're going to see a huge shift in not only how you feel, but that scale will eventually move too, because you're not going to be focused on it. You're going to be so gung-ho at improving those other habits in your life. So guys, if this resonated with you, please, share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Like the show, subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be coming out every week, like I always do, with new tips on mindset, on nutrition, on health, on hormones, all of the things improving your life. So until next week, guys, go have a great week. Hey, thanks for spending some time with me on today's episode. I hope you got a ton of value from it. If we're not connected on Instagram yet, let's change that. Hit me up at Sean Calhoun _. That's SEAN Calhoun _. Shoot me a DM. Let me know what you think of the show, or if you got any questions about how to level up your health. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next episode.